Greetings fellow humans, I'm MartianBuu, and today's pocket video is on Dragonite with Kangaskhan and Meowth. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that I prefer the Baby Articuno and Misty as a support Pokemon package for Dragonite, but I wanted to try out some of the things that are played more commonly. Meowth is a decent opener because it allows you to draw through your deck. 20 cards is not a lot, so if you manage to use Payday a couple of times, you're going to be pretty far into your deck compared to your opponent at least. That allows you to find Dragonair and Dragonite more easily, to evolve more reliably in time to be able to win the game with a couple Draco Meteor attacks. Kangaskhan, on the other hand, is more about its health than anything else. Much like the Baby Articuno, it's got 100 health, but it doesn't rely on flipping a bunch of heads with a supporter to be able to attack. All you have to do is commit one of your energies for the turn, and you can use Dizzy Punch to soften up your opponent's Pokemon. One of the big negatives that I think comes with Kangaskhan is the 3 retreat cost. You basically have to commit that thing to getting KO'd as soon as it's active. So unlike the Baby Articuno where you can just play X speed and retreat if that's advantageous, once Kangaskhan is up, it's basically there forever. I did find both of these support Pokemon to be pretty interesting in spots, and maybe it doesn't actually matter too much. I do think that the biggest negative of this build is the 3 retreat cost on the Kangaskhan, and would be the major reason why I wouldn't be playing it in the future. But a lot of the time that just doesn't matter because your initial support Pokemon or two tend to get knocked out either way. I hope you enjoy the games, and thank you so much for watching. Well, I have nothing yet, so I'm going to start with this Meowth, I think. Opponent is Articuno. Will they get 3 heads on this Misty and then start sweeping me from there? Find out this time. All right, cool. So here's a question. If my opponent, or if I get a Dragonite, or a Dratini rather, do I start powering up the Dratini or do I start powering up this Meowth so that I can draw more stuff? I guess if I have the Meowth active, I should use it, right? We know Lightning is next, so that makes me feel a little better about powering up the Meowth. Alright, we didn't even find Dratini, so it doesn't matter, but like, you hate to invest in energy into the Meowth and then never see that type of energy in time again. Easiest tails of my opponent's entire career. Let's go. Let's go. So much tails right now. Yep. Disaster. Oh, red card's kind of cool. I don't want any of that for now. Pokeball, X speed, research. All right. Can we get the Dratini? I hate it when I play a Meowth and it is actively a detriment. Because you have to attach an energy to it. Don't you have to flip a coin for Meowth's draw in the paper TCG? The original one was 2 for 10 and draw a card automatic. There could have been a flip one. Could have been a flip one. Alright, we're on target, I guess. Except that we don't have a lightning yet. It's kind of fine, because we have the Kangaskhan to chill. If lightning shows up on the next one, I'm going to attach to Kangaskhan next turn. But if it's going to be a water, I'll attach a water. Interesting, they started powering up the Squirtle instead of damaging my bench. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Alright, is it water or lightning? Lightning is next. So we are not worrying about that for the time being. Daisy Punch, let's go. Is there such a thing as a combo deck in the paper TCG? They're not super common, but yes. So you could almost say that the Dialga V-Star Metang deck was a combo deck, but I think that's reaching a little bit. But like, there's, for example, in Unlimited, there's a Porygon 2 from somewhere in the Diamond Platinum era that you can discard with its ability. It's called Pokemon Pokepower at the time, but with its ability, you can discard a supporter from your hand and then use the effect of that supporter for its ability. So you can, there's a supporter called Seeker, which is you return one of your bench Pokemon to your hand and your opponent returns one of their bench Pokemon to their hand. So there's also a Stadium that lets you ignore having to wait to evolve something. So it's broken time space. You can just evolve no matter what. First turn of the game, you just put the Pokemon down, you can always do it. So what you would do, this is an unlimited combo, by the way. There's never been a legal format where you could do this, but why did I send that up? Because I'm talking. That's the reason. Water's next, at least. Maybe I'll send up my sacrificial Kangaskhan. Anyways, the I only have 1x speed, so I guess I won't. We'll attach this here and just hope. Anyways, so you can evolve the turn you play a card. The ability asterisk on the Porygon 2 lets you discard a supporter from your hand to use it, and that's all there is to it. And you use Seeker, the supporter, to return a bench Pokemon from your field and from your opponent's side of the field. So I lose if I send out Kangaskhan? Oh yeah, they do have 2 points already. All right, you're true. Good point, Evil Bunny. So you have a Porygon 2 on your bench and you play Seeker using its ability, which returns one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to their hand and returns your Porygon 2 back to your hand. You play Porygon, evolve it right away with broken time space, use its ability again because it's here fresh now. Brand new Porygon as far as the game's concerned, ready to attack again, or ready to use its ability again. You use its ability to discard another Seeker and use its effect. Returning Porygon 2 back to your hand again, and returning another one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to their hand. So you repeat that process. You can get your supporters back out of your discard pile with a few different ways. There's a card Versus Seeker, which lets you it's an item that just gets a supporter out of the discard pile. So with a few different ways you can do that. You get the supporters back out of your discard pile. And you keep doing that until your opponent has no bench Pokemon out. Then you play Drifloon, evolving it into a Drifblim. That same turn, again, because of broken time space. Retreat your active Pokemon somehow. There are plenty of ways to do it. And then you send up the Drifblim, which for 3 energy has shuffle this Pokemon into your deck, and your opponent shuffles their active Pokemon into their deck. And you just use Boost Energy, which is a 3 energy. It's a 3 energy that can only be used on evolutions, and it's discarded at the end of the turn. So there was when all these cards first existed, you could attack and use a supporter on the first turn. So you would just go first, Porygon 2, Seeker away your opponent's entire bench, then bring up the Drifloon and shuffle their active Pokemon into their deck, and then you win the game that way. So that's a combo deck that has existed. In Expanded, there was a Garchomp, Giratina Tag Team Dialga V-Star combo deck that won on turn 2. Actually, Expanded has a ton of combo decks now. Like there's a Raichu one. There's an Alolan Raichu that lets you discard as many lightning energy in play as you want and place and deal 30 damage to a target. You can choose the same thing more than once, as much as you want, for each lightning energy. So you use Electrode EX. I think it's EX. It might be GX actually. Is it an Electrode GX? Pretty sure. So the Electrode GX lets you knock out the Electrode to take 5 energies out of your discard pile and attach them to your bench Pokemon. So on turn 2, you can blow up an Electrode or 2, give your opponent 2 prizes, which puts you behind. So you haven't knocked down anything yet. You knock out the Electrodes, so your opponent is ahead on prizes. And the energies you bring back are all the energies that if you're behind on prizes, they give multiple energies. So there's counter energy. Is it just called counter energy? Or is it counter gain energy? I think it's just counter energy. But there's the counter energy, and then there's they remade scramble energy under a new name. So there's one that's if you're behind on prizes, it's worth 2. And there's one that if you're behind on prizes, it's worth 3. And you can only attach it to, is it an evolution or is it a stage 2 evolution? I don't remember. But anyways, those are the combo decks I can think of off the top of my head. So yeah, on turn 2, you would have like, 15, 25 energy in play to like, to target your opponent multiple times and try to just sweep off their whole board in one attack on turn 2. It's pretty funny. All that turn 1 for the Porygon deck? Yeah, at the time you could. You can't anymore because now you can't attack or use a supporter on the first turn in the paper card game, which is the opposite of Pocket, because you can't attach an energy. But so if you went second in Unlimited, you could do that. Was it a good deck? It was a format that's never been supported, so that's Unlimited. Unlimited is every card ever. You can use any card ever. So the Porygon 2 deck is a like it was good, but it was for a format that like doesn't matter. But the Alolan Raichu deck is a good deck. That's a good deck currently in Expanded. The Garchomp, so the Garchomp and Giratina tag team deck was interesting. So you would, oh my goodness, it's gonna take me a second to even think about it. I think that one also used the Electrode that put a bunch of energies. So you would try to like, okay, yeah, that's how it worked. Okay, so there's this supporter that you can only run a single copy of in your deck, Cyrus Prism Star. And if your active Pokemon is water or metal, your opponent has to go down to just 2 benched Pokemon. I think the other ones are shuffled into your deck, maybe? Man, my Dratini might get wrecked here. I think it's still attached to it. And we'll just rely on Kangaskhan high rolling. So anyways, you would on turn 2. Oh, nice. Good job, Kangaskhan. So all of this happens on turn 2. So you do everything that you can to set this up on turn 1, and then on turn 2, you send up Dialga V-Star. And Dialga V-Star is a metal type. So you play the Cyrus Prism Star, so your opponent has to go down to just 2 benched Pokemon. And you blow up your Electrode to attach 5 energy from your discard pile to the Dialga V-Star. Its 5 energy attack is 220, and you get to take an extra turn. So you you use whatever means you can to get one of their Pokemon that would actually get knocked out by 220, and then you take your extra turn, and then there's a card scramble switch, which is switch your active Pokemon for one of your bench Pokemon, and they never have another Sabrina, it's fine. And then you can move all energy attached from the old Pokemon to the new Pokemon. So you take all the energy that was on the Dialga V-Star and put it onto the Garchomp Giratina tag team that you send up. And then its energy, its attack, which requires a lot of energy, it's like 5 or 6 to get both effects. It has like a minor effect initially, but then if you have enough extra energy, it does more. So the more that it does is I think it's like the first part of the attack is your opponent has to discard one of their Pokemon in play, and if you have enough surplus energy, it's like 3 extra energy to get to a total of 5 or 6. Then they have to discard 2. So on our second turn, we use Cyrus Prism Star to make our opponent go to just 2 bench Pokemon, and we knocked out their active Pokemon with the Dialga V-Star's attack, creating an extra turn. On the extra turn, we scramble switch up the Giratina Garchomp tag team and use its attack to make our opponent discard 2 of their Pokemon in play, which is all they have left. So on turn 2, you discard all of your opponent's Pokemon in play and win the game that way. So that deck was like, it was like good enough to be annoying, but not good enough to be like a tier 1 deck, you know what I mean? Like, it was like a tier 3 or tier 4 deck, but it was like the only deck that played that way. So it saw a lot of play just because people like to play off meta silly stuff like that, including myself. I had a lot of fun playing that deck when Expanded was available. Like, Expanded isn't currently available in TCG Live. If my opponent gets 3 heads and ruins everything, I'm uninstalling. All right, unless I'm lying like usual. Zapdos EX, can you go ahead and just give me 2 or less heads? 2 or less heads. Give me 1 more attack. All right. I accept it if it goes horribly wrong, but don't end the game here. Oh, thank goodness. Nice try though. That was their out, right? Was to be able to knock it out with the Zappy. All right, let's go. 2 points. Nice. 4 points. You love to see it. That's the first time I've seen plus 4 points. Good job, Dragonite. I'm so proud of you. That was great. Here's Meowth active. Teeny bench. Good deal. Poliwag, huh? This might be the first time I've ever seen a Poliwag in game. Should we make a Poliwrath deck at some point? I figure what it even does. What does Poliwrath even do? Yeah, I don't remember. Alright, well, that was a pretty good Misty Flip. Unfortunately, it's on a Pokemon that doesn't do anything. I also think we don't have to bother investing into this Meowth, right? Because we have tons of draw. Polyswag. Yep. Exactly. Poliwrath has the ability where when it hits you, you get hit. Yeah, but what's its attack? Is it 20 damage it deals when you hit it? Pretty rude opponent, I gotta say. That's not Dragonite. That's not Dragonite at all. $20 damage counter and I think 70-ish attack. If the next energy that shows up is a water energy, oh, it's 3 for 80. That's not bad. Yeah, if the next energy that shows up is a water energy, I'll start attacking with the Kangaskhan. Actually, maybe I shouldn't. Like, delays us by a turn, huh? Hey, Dratini. Alright, didn't matter. Okay, well, I think we're just, like, coping and seething that we top deck Dragonite. I feel like you should be able to choose your energy each turn. If you had to choose your energy each turn, then there would be no benefit. There would be no like reason for you to care about what energy type a Pokemon has, right? Like, if you could always choose which energy showed up, whether you had a water or a lightning energy requirement or a dark energy requirement or whatever, it would always be fine. There would be no downside to running whatever colors of Pokemon you wanted in a deck. I do think that it would be to the game's benefit if there was like items that let you change which energy is offered. So like there's just an item that said switch the energy in the energy pool or the energy on deck in the energy pool to another energy from what's available. Like that would be cool. Okay, let me rephrase. Between the two you choose for a deck. But right, you can choose whatever you want for a deck. Like, you're not limited to 2 energy types. You could run 5 if you wanted to. And even if the game was you pick 2 energy types and that's all you get, even if that was the case, there would still be no downside to Pokemon requiring different attacks, like attack costs. It's supposed to be a restriction that you need to run a water and a lightning for Dragonair, and it's not a restriction if you can always choose which energy you're offered. It just needs a little bit of agency over it with like if they made it so that you had like one item that you switch what the current energy offered is for another one in the pool, I think that would be enough agency to keep it from being stupid. But if you're allowed to freely choose whichever energy is available in your energy pool each turn, then it just kind of undermines the point of having different colored energy. All right, well, here's a problem. This could be a tie. No, it won't be a tie. Because, no, I'll lose. All right, split it for the tie, Dragonite. Let's go. No! Brutal. Most people run mono decks because with colorless Pokemon anyway. Right, because they have to. Just because there isn't a way to manipulate the energy yet, and there aren't enough Pokemon that require one of a type and then a bunch of colorless. It's just a product of there not being a lot of cards yet. Deck building is really limited by what's available right now, Guapo. Hi there, I know it's not the time really as you're playing Pokemon, but I played my Starship Rogue earlier today, and it was against a Reno GK in Standard that had all to take control of an enemy. I conceded after having my Starship stolen twice. Unlucky. That sounds unfortunate. Well, I have a lot of draw in my hands, so I don't think I'm going to worry about the Meowth right now. Professor's Research, more like Pot of Greed. It's Pot of Greed if Pot of Greed doesn't let you play any other magic cards that turn. But yes, somewhat. Alright. No need for Meowth today. No need for you, Meowth. Yeah, the Meowth, I don't know. It's really nice when you don't draw anything, but it's pretty useless, I think, a lot. I think I've been drawing well, though. I keep hitting my evolutions, so. Misty, flip a coin, do nothing. Yeah, that's how the card works. Pretty sure Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't let you play magic cards, period. Haha. Oh yeah, they're called spell cards now, aren't they? Because Magic sued them. When it first came out, they were magic cards. Wow, we got going really fast, and my opponent is playing a deck of all time. Look at this. What are the rules for the Pokemon game? Well, you attach energy, you get an energy once per turn, you attach it to your Pokemon. A Pokemon with enough energy to attack can attack, and the attacks deal damage. When a Pokemon has taken enough damage to be knocked out, your opponent gets 1 or 2 points depending on the Pokemon. When you've taken 3 points, you win. Alright, let's knock out some stuff. Got the bench one, pretty good. Definitely would have rather that go the other way around. I have 2 potions. 2 potions saves me from getting 2-shot by Hydro Splash. Wasn't it better to speed last turn, bring Dragonite in, and 1-shot Staryu? Maybe if you're a good player. Rude. Also rude. It's okay, we always do 150 active and 50 damage to the bench. That red card is rude too. My opponent seems to be cheating. I don't appreciate it. Don't appreciate it, chat. Alright, let's go. Let's get the at least 150 active to end the game. Let's go. Of course. Disaster. Chat, I think we may have lost the video game. Connection unstable. Where's my disconnect out? Goodbye, Dragonite. You did what you could. It's up to you, Kangaskhan. I need 3 heads over the course of 2 turns. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me, Kangaskhan? Alright. Gotta show me 2 heads next turn. There's no way your opponents always cheat so much. In every Hearthstone video or stream, it's already the case, and yet they follow you to Pokemon. I know, right? How do all my opponents always cheat so much? Disaster. Interesting move. Like they were that afraid of the double heads. I'm into it. It's okay, you never remember the losses. That's what's up. Marshy needs another Sabrina. Or 4 heads. That is not 4 heads, chat. Signature Starmie looks so good. I like the signature Starmie. Signature. Full art. Alright. Let's go at least 1 tails, top deck Sabrina, at least 1 heads. Is there ever a reason to not attach an energy in a turn, assuming you don't win in that turn? There's a Jinx that deals more damage, and an Alakazam that deals more damage based on the amount of energy attached to the defending Pokemon. So those would be the reasons not to. But my opponent can't play those things. Alright. Now all we need is my opponent to never have Sabrina, and we're good. But like, they're at the end of their deck, right? Have they used any yet? They haven't used any Sabrina, so like I refuse to believe they're not running any. I mean, they might. Never know. They could be running 0 Sabrina. Come on! Maybe they don't run Sabrina. Fingers crossed. I doubt it so much. Really is down to this like 1 and 4 that we still have 1 left, right? Yeah. Okay. Red card me. Did they draw a Giovanni? Oh, okay. What a weird game. I feel like the coin flips are the rage-inducing part of this game. I can't tell if I'm used to it or if like it's fine. It's not like, it's not meant to be a very serious game, you know? Like a little bit of RNG is fine in a game where you're not like, you know, too married to whether or not you win, and that's how I approach it. So I think, like, especially as a streamer, I think the variance makes for a lot of really good streamer moments, you know what I mean? So I think it's a much more stream friendly game with how random it is sometimes. Play Pokemon TCG long enough, you get used to the coin flip. Yeah, but I don't even think competitive TCG is too coin flippy. Like, it's a little coin flippy, but like in paper TCG, we have so many good options that we don't have to run the coin flip cards that often. Most of the time, your deck is pretty coin flip free. You played 4 roller skates in the deck? I remember roller skates. Roller skates was an item that was flip a coin, if heads, draw 3 cards, if tails, do nothing. So yeah, you get a coin flip card every once in a while, but yeah, when that's an item, it's so much less of a drag. And like, even your opponent getting heads on roller skates, you know, it's not like you can't come back from it. You assume coin flips were just everywhere. They're pretty heavily, there are a lot of coin flips in Pocket right now, but Pocket is very restricted on what you can play. Wow, my opponent is terrible at this game. Don't they know you're supposed to get heads sometimes? Meowthing it up. I'm meowthing because I don't have any evolutions. Another Dragonite build I want to try is with Snorlax. The Snorlax has 150 HP for some reason. You can never retreat him, right? So that's the drawback. Alright, let's see if my opponent also stinks this time. 3 more tails. Let's go. My opponent is terrible at this. My opponent is absolutely awful at this game. What are they doing? Surely they know they're supposed to get heads sometimes. You'd be a little mad. Yep. You live by the Moltres, you die by the Moltres. Can we get 3 more tails? Or the funny, silly laugh at yous? Show me. Show me the 9 tails. Get it? Because they're not running that fire Pokemon? Flipping all tails on Moltres feels even worse than Misty because it's 3 tails. Yeah, or 3 coins. Alright. Opponents learning. Little by little, they're learning that they're supposed to get some heads on that. Good job, opponent. Way to better yourself. Should I start, like, evolving my other Dratini? I feel like it just kind of opens me up to horrible Sabrina stuff that I don't want to deal with. Do we think they're going to Meteor Blast my Meowth? Goodbye, Meowth. And good dead. Here's a Kangaskhan. I will not be able to retreat this Kangaskhan, and they will not be able to knock it out. So, don't lose any... Well, I also don't have a Dragonite yet, so there's that. But I won't lose any momentum by attaching energy here, so... See, this is how you flip, chat. Take notes. 2 heads. That's the way to do it. Is there meta in this game, or is it just whatever everyone feels like playing? There's a meta. But it's also like a little limited based off of cards people have. So I assume this person just doesn't have the Charizard line yet, but who knows? This is also like pretty decent given that it's a 1 prizer or a 1 point Pokemon and hits 130, which is a much better breakpoint than 120. So, it's not too bad. Make me switch, huh? See how it is. Alright, cool. Surely we hit the Dragonite. Sick. Does this version of Dragonite feel better than Weezing or Baby Articuno version? Not the Baby Articuno version. Maybe better than Weezing. I think not having to add like Kogas in a stage 1 line is nice. Like, I feel like a basic with high HP is the best way to play Dragonite. You run one basic with 100 or more HP to be a blocker, and you know, you just have some options in that area. If you're running Weezing, you're running extra slots and you're running Koga for like having to find the Weezing for that to have any benefit. So I think the Articuno is way better just because you get to run Misty and potentially attack with the thing, you know, the thing. Articuno's attack if you get enough Misty heads, but I don't know, maybe I'm warming up to Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan's pretty decent. I think I think the 3 retreat cost on Kangaskhan is a big drawback. So I think more than getting to play with Misty, having to like basically commit your Kangaskhan to get KO'd is a big drawback. I think maybe there's a chance Snorlax is better if you're going to go the Kangaskhan route, just because they have to die in the active position anyway, so you might as well take the beefier blocker. But I really liked, the only reason I'm not playing Articuno today is just because I haven't tried this version of the deck. So that's my thoughts on that. All right, this puts me in range of the Centiskorch. So it doesn't really do anything, but you know, at least I've done it. Dragonite, you have to knock out 2 things here for me, or knock out the active Moltres. Let's go. Really? Oh, well, you knocked out the thing that could attack me. All right, you know what, Dragonite? That's fair. That's fair. I accept it. You did great. You did great. No notes for you. No notes for you, Dragonite. You did incredible. I'm so proud.